Ra. I am Ra. I greet you in the love and light of the infinite Creator. I communicate now. Questioner. I have a question regarding what I call the advertising of the Confederation. It has to do with free will. There have been certain contacts allowed, as I understand, by the Council, but this is limited because of free will of those who are not oriented in such a way as to want contact. This material that we are doing now will be disseminated. Dissemination of this material will be dependent upon the wants of a relatively small number of people. Many people on our planet want this material, but even though we disseminate it, they will not be aware that it is available. Is there any possibility of creating some effect which I would call advertising, or is this against the principle of free will? Ra. I am Ra. Consider, if you will, the path your life experience complex has taken. Consider the coincidences and odd circumstances by which one thing flowed to the next. Consider this well. Each entity will receive the opportunity that each needs. This information source beingness does not have uses in the life experience complex of each of those among your peoples who seek. Thus the advertisement is general and not designed to indicate the searching out of any particular material, but only to suggest the nominal aspect of the illusion. Questioner. There was a portion of the material from yesterday which I will read where you say there is a certain amount of landing taking place. Some of these landings are of your own people, some are of the group known to you as Orion. My first question is, what did you mean by the landings are of your peoples? Ra. I am Ra. Your peoples have, at this time space present, the technological achievement, if you would call it that, of being able to create and fly the shape and type of craft known to you as unidentified flying objects. Unfortunately for the social memory complex vibratory rate of your peoples, these devices are not intended for the service of mankind, but for potential destructive use. This further muddles the vibratory nexus of your social memory complex, causing a situation whereby neither those oriented toward serving others, nor those oriented toward serving self can gain the energy power which opens the gates to intelligent infinity for the social memory complex. This in turn causes the harvest to be small. Questioner. Are these craft that are of our peoples from what we call our planes, that are not incarnate at this time? Where are they based? Ra. I am Ra. These of which we spoke are of third density, and are part of the so-called military complex of various of your people's societal divisions or structures. The bases are varied. There are bases, as you would call them, undersea in your southern waters near the Bahamas as well as in your Pacific seas in various places close to your Chilean borders, on the water. There are bases upon your moon, as you call the satellite, which are at this time being reworked. There are bases which move about your lands. There are bases, if you would call them that, in your skies. These are the bases of your peoples, very numerous, and, as we have said, potentially destructive. Questioner. Where do the people who operate these craft come from? Are they affiliated with any nation on Earth? What is their source? Ra. These people come from the same place as you or I. They come from the Creator. As you intend the question, in its shallower aspect, these people are those in your and other selves governments responsible for what you would term national security. Questioner. Am I to understand then that the United States has these craft and undersea bases? Ra. I am Ra. You are correct. Questioner. How did the United States learn the technology to build these craft? Ra. I am Ra. There was a mind-body-spirit complex known to your people by the vibratory sound complex, Nicola. This entity departed the illusion, and the papers containing the necessary understandings were taken by mind-body-spirit complexes serving your security of national divisional complex. Thus your people became privy to the basic technology. In the case of those mind-body-spirit complexes which you call Russians, the technology was given from one of the Confederation, in an attempt, approximately 27 of your years ago, to share information and bring about peace among your peoples. The entities giving this information were in error, but we did many things at the end of this cycle in attempts to aid your harvest, from which we learned the folly of certain types of aid. That is a contributing factor to our more cautious approach at this date, even as the need is power upon power greater, and your people's call is greater and greater. Questioner. I'm puzzled by these craft which have undersea bases. Is this technology sufficient to overshadow all other armaments? Do we have the ability to just fly in these craft, or are they just craft for transport? What is the basic mechanism of their power source? It's really hard to believe is what I'm saying. Ra. I am Ra. The craft are perhaps misnamed in some instances. It would be more appropriate to consider them as weaponry. The energy used is that of the field of electromagnetic energy which polarizes the Earth's sphere. The weaponry is of two basic kinds, that which is called by your people's psychotronic, and that which is called by your people's particle beam. The amount of destruction which is contained in this technology is considerable, and the weapons have been used in many cases to alter weather patterns and to enhance the vibratory change which engulfs your planet at this time. Questioner: how have they been able to keep this a secret? Why aren't these craft in use for transport? Ra: the governments of each of your societal division illusions desire to refrain from publicity so that the surprise may be retained in case of hostile action from what your peoples call enemies. Questioner: how many of these craft does the United States have? Ra: I am Ra. The United States has 573 at this time. They are in the process of adding to this number. Questioner: what is the maximum speed of one of these craft? Ra: I am Ra. The maximum speed of these craft is equal to the Earth energy squared. This field varies. The limit is approximately 1/2 the light speed, as you would call it. This is due to imperfections in design. Questioner: wouldn't this type of craft come close to solving a lot of the energy problems as far as transport goes? Ra: I am Ra. The technology your peoples possess at this time is capable of resolving each and every limitation which plagues your social memory complex at this present nexus of experience. However, the concerns of some of your beings with distortions towards what you would call powerful energy cause these solutions to be withheld until the solutions are so needed that those with the distortion can then become further distorted in the direction of power. Questioner: you also said that some of the landings at this time were of the Orion Group. Why did the Orion Group land here? What is their purpose? Ra: I am Ra. Their purpose is conquest, unlike those of the Confederation who wait for the calling. The so-called Orion Group calls itself to conquest. Questioner: specifically, what do they do when they land? Ra: I am Ra. There are two types of landings. In the first, entities among your peoples are taken on their craft and programmed for future use. There are 2 or 3 levels of programming. First, the level that will be discovered by those who do research. Second, a triggering program. Third, a second and most deep triggering program crystallizing the entity, thereby rendering it lifeless and useful as a kind of beacon. This is a form of landing. The second form is that of landing beneath the Earth's crust, which is entered from water. Again, in the general area of your South American and Caribbean areas, and close to the so-called Northern Pole. The bases of these people are underground. Questioner: what do the Orion Group have? What's the objective with respect to the conquest of the Orion Group? Ra: I am Ra. As we have said previously, their objective is to locate certain mind-body-spirit complexes which vibrate in resonance with their own vibrational complex, then to enslave the elite, as you may call those who are not of the Orion vibration. Questioner: was the landing at Pascagoula in 1973 when Charlie Hickson was taken aboard this type of landing? Ra: I am Ra. The landing of which you speak was what you would call an anomaly. It was neither the Orion influence nor our people's in thought form, but rather a planetary entity of your own vibration which came through quarantine, in all innocence, in a random landing. Questioner: what did they do to Charlie Hickson when they took him on board? Ra: I am Ra. They used his mind-body-spirit complex's life experience, concentrating upon the experience of the complexes of what you call war. Questioner: how did they use them? Ra: I am Ra. The use of experiences to learn. Consider a race who watches a movie. It experiences a story and identifies with the feelings, perceptions, and experiences of the hero. Questioner: was Charlie Hickson originally of the same social memory complex of the ones who picked him up? Ra: I am Ra. This entity of vibratory sound complex did not have a connection with those who used him. Questioner: did those who used him use his war experiences to learn more of the law of one? Ra: I am Ra. This is correct.